I'd like to start with our first presentation, which to recognize the hard work of our Probation Services Department for Probation Services Week from July 21 to 27, and we're spot on with that week. I'd like to invite Chief Probation Officer Daniel Hernandez to come up with his team, if he would please join. And I'd like to emphasize how important the Probation Department is, an essential role of our criminal justice system, connecting those who have had unfortunate incidents back into our society in a way that we hope so they'll never again have to experience a law enforcement incident. That's called recidivism. And that's a word I have trouble spelling and hope that maybe we don't need. But the statistics have shown that some individuals recycle through our system as many as 6 times a year. We need to stop that, provide the good health that we can, and make certain when they are helped by our probation department, they get the help they need and can become back into our society and useful and constructive again. So probation officers are actually focused on helping adult and juvenile offenders transition out of the the justice system through transformative and also some evidence-based programming that we know works. They're here and are a true force for positive change in our communities. They've been an integral part of what we call OC Cares initiative that we've been working on for nearly 6 years, which is a major reform of our criminal justice system, which we'll begin to phase in next year. And they have been absolutely essential to that, because it's not just what is in the jail, it's before you get there and how you transition out and become again in the society and a good citizen again. And this is, when we say juvenile, we also include a population called TAY, which is like transitional age youth, which go from 18 to 25. We find that that group particularly tends to be a little rambunctious and needs a little extra care. And so that also keeps some of our TAY people out of homelessness, because we want supportive services for these young people. So their reentry in the community and link them to more stable housing is a good effort there. And I'd like to thank the Probation Office for hosting a recent visit by the National Association of Counties and what they call their Federal Fellowship Initiative, where they visited 4 counties, of which we were one, to see what we're doing with our criminal justice system. And so I thank you for hosting that. And so we have a group of people that are dedicated, and they make an immense impact on the justice-related individuals and our communities through mentorship and guidance, so we have positive life changes. And so with that, I'd like to invite Supervisor Sarmiento, and after Supervisor Sarmiento, I'd like Chief Daniel Hernandez to make any remarks.
Morning, everyone. I am Supervisor Vicente Sarmiento from the 2nd District. I want to thank the Vice Chair for bringing this forward. I am physically here, but I'm mentally still on vacation. I just came back from Europe, so I'm 9 hours behind schedule here. So I just simply want to say thank you to everyone who's standing here for all the work that you do, and we know that you have staffs behind you that do a lot of the hard work. So I want to thank you all for helping those in our community that are justice impacted. For me, it's a really important role. It was one of the first things that I sat down with Chief Hernandez to speak about, and it was great to hear how much work that they've done and how much cutting-edge work they've done. So they do things, we do things differently here in the county, different than some other counties, but we've seen good results. So that's where I think, that innovation, that care, that attention that this team does makes me proud. And I want to thank you all and celebrate you. So we're celebrating you for the week, but we also are celebrating you for the long-term impact that you've had on so many of our folks here in the county. So with that, let me go ahead and turn it over to Chief Hernandez so he can say a few words. So thank you, Chief, and all your team.
Thank you, Vice Chair Chafee, Chair Wagner, wherever you are. Thank you, and thank you, Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Sarmiento, Foley, and the board. So welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Board, for acknowledging us during pretrial, probation, and parole supervision week. It's a time for us to reflect on this complex job that we do that you've just heard something about. You may not know, we operate in this world of this entire spectrum of we seized 55 firearms this last year. We also seized 438 other weapons off the streets. We operate in this world of law enforcement, but then what you also heard is we are parent mentors. We're surrogate parents in some cases to the youth that we work with. We're correctional officers. We're officers that write sentencing recommendations for all types of offenders who are going through the criminal justice system, and we're everything in between. It's an incredibly complex and difficult job that all these folks behind me. I brought so many folks this morning because I want you to see really who we are and what we're made of. Our line of work encompasses just an amazing and diverse set of functions and responsibilities, and because of that, that's what makes it extremely challenging. To one day be a law enforcement officer out keeping the streets safe, and then the very next day or even a few minutes later, guiding and mentoring and counseling someone out of a difficult situation and helping them to become better. The difficult part of our job is it's not just a one-time experience. We follow these folks for years and years oftentimes with the shouldered responsibility of having to actually make this person's life better and help them to be successful. This year's theme for pretrial, probation, and parole supervision week is Wellness Unveiled. And wellness isn't just a buzzword. Keeping ourselves as officers in a good place, taking care of our own well-being is essential to the good services that we provide. There's a lot of evidence that shows that when law enforcement officers, especially because of our difficult job and stressful job, when we take care of ourselves, our service delivery is actually even better. As a citizen myself, I want the best services from my law enforcement departments, right? Our law enforcement services. And as the chief of the probation department, I want my staff to provide you all, our public, with the best services possible. So maintaining our well-being and wellness is extremely important. I want to thank the county for acknowledging employee wellness. The county has taken several steps to allow for wellness resources for all of our employees, including the officers and staff you see behind me. And Orange County Probation has taken several steps towards maintaining and supporting wellness. I want to point out a couple of them. We have a very robust peer support system. Peer support is a framework that a lot of law enforcement agencies have adopted that allows for peers to be specially trained and be there as a support system for their coworkers. And that adds to camaraderie, it adds to again, overall wellness and the ability to talk about things with a peer when you're struggling or going through some difficult situation, either at work or personally. Another element that Orange County Probation is a leader in is peer mentorship. We have a very robust mentorship program that allows us to not only train, specially train mentors and guide the next generation of staff and officers, but it also aids in career advancement, retention, and also just sustaining our legacy of excellence as we convey that generational knowledge and experience so we can stand on the shoulders of our predecessors, stand on the shoulders of those who have done well before us. So as we celebrate this week, I want to thank the Board of Supervisors, Chair Wagner, Vice Chair Chafee, and the board. I want to thank the county for their support of overall employee wellness. And I want to thank every single employee of the probation department. We are here to thank you all, acknowledge you for the difficult job that you all do day in and day out. And lastly, I want us to mentor the next generation, support each other, take care of each other, and thank you all for acknowledging us today.
Thank you for sharing with us what the probation department does and important services it provides. And I'd like to present you with a presentation. It is actually signed by all 5 of us, even though we're not all here. So with that, if we might gather for a picture.
Several rows.